Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about some Pat McGrath. As soon as it launched, I ordered it, the new palette and some of the other items that she had bundled on her website. It took a little while to get here. They just showed up a couple of days ago. So I'm sitting down now to share with you what the palette looks like. Maybe do a little comparison with last year's holiday palette and, create a little look and then talk about, what I'm thinking. So here is the palette. It's actually really, that was from, from the other palette, it's stuck on there. This is what the palette is looking like. It's actually very beautiful. I mean, the packaging is gorgeous. Let's see if I can get that to focus. So you've got the Pat McGrath icons on the front. There's the width of it. It's definitely got some weight to it. And then it's got a great magnetic closure. And then here's the inside of the palette. It's absolutely stunning. I mean, the shades in this palette are so beautiful. To me, this is an all year round palette. You could wear these shades at the holidays. You could wear them now. You could wear them in the spring, summer. I mean, it's just really nicely curated. You've also got the black lacquer on the inside. You have her insignia right here in the middle. And you have the mirror, which I haven't pulled that off just because I was going to be showing it to you. And that's what it's looking like. It's got some beautiful shades. I think we have a little more mattes in this year's palette. Let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3. It looks like we have 4 mattes. And then we've got, I think the rest of these are shimmers, but I'm really not sure. Anyway, that's what the palette is looking like for this year. The sleeve matches it. So if you were going to give this as a gift, I mean, the presentation is beautiful. This is last year's palette. I thought the packaging on this was beautiful. A lot of people didn't like this sticker on the front. And then a couple of influencers likened it to a Morphe palette, which after I saw that, I got to be honest with you, I can't unsee it now. But it had this cardboard inside, and these were the shades from last year. And, it got mixed reviews, this palette. I've enjoyed using this palette. You could almost see which shades I have dipped into quite a bit. What I like about this palette was that you could do a lot of one and done shades in here. I think this only had 3 mattes in it, and it was mostly shimmers. And so I remember last year Tara Lynn likening it to like a companion palette because it didn't have, it was mostly shimmers. And so I really enjoyed it. I have enjoyed this palette, and I really didn't have anything, any bad thoughts towards it. Some people thought it felt a little cheaper, but for me it was fine. For comparison purposes, and I'm sure you've seen other influencers show you will see that this year's is a little bit bigger, and then there's the widths on it, and I hope this is focusing. But here's the widths on it. And so it looks pretty good. I mean, this one is still good. I did notice that these, because they say they have a shelf life about 12 months. I do notice that over time, some palettes just don't perform as well. It's still performing pretty well, but certainly not as good as a fresh palette will perform for you. So you can see right away the differences between the two palettes. I want to say last year's was $75. This year it's $78. I did get to use a code on Pat's website. at launch. I think it was like Mega 10 or something. So I got to use a code for the palette. And then what I did was I wanted to actually try a couple of her other products. She had a trio that came with one of her liners. And so this is the liner that it came with. So I think it's just a black liner. And then this I thought was a nice touch. You get a little sharpener with it. So I wasn't expecting that when I opened it up. So we could try using that. And then also in that that trio came her Dark Star mascara. So you could see, I mean, her packaging is beautiful. Everything feels so luxurious. And a lot of people raved about her Dark Star mascara. I've heard a lot of really good things about it. And I thought that was a really good way to try it. So with the bundle price and then the extra 10% off, I thought it was a pretty good deal, and I definitely saved some money bundling. So one thing that I did notice about this palette, and this is just my issue personally, I am allergic to certain dyes. And so I can't wear reds, for example, or some burgundy shades if they're not vegan. And I don't think her brand is vegan. And so I have played around with this palette the last few days. I think I got it either Tuesday or Wednesday this week. And I did use this peach shade here because it's one of the mattes. And I tried to recreate what Tara Lynn did, because Tara Lynn did like 3 looks, and one of them was a peachy inspired one, and it looked really pretty. And then I like to take my shadow and bring it under my eyes and almost like smoke them out, because I have smaller semi-hooded eyes, and so I like to kind of bring it out. And it gave me a terrible headache. So it makes sense that a shade like that might be made with red pigments. And so that wasn't, a good thing. I also tried the liner that came in this, and I had put that under my eyes. I had like lined my eyes with it, and I put it on the top as well. So I don't know if it was the liner. I'm suspecting that it was that actual shade. But the other thing I noticed about this liner is it ran. So I don't usually have that issue with liners, and I was surprised. This liner does not really have a real strong staying power. It had, kind of like started fading. I had done like a small wing on top. It started fading up here, and then it was like coming down here on my eyes. So that was really disappointing. I was not expecting that from this liner. So it goes on very easy. As you can see, took nothing for me to draw that on. So it's a very soft liner. So what I think this might be good for is smudging. Like if you wanted to if you were like smoking something out, you were smoking out your line, and then you wanted to, just kind of like take a brush, or you just wanted to like smoke it out, kind of like do like a, smudge it. I think this would be good for that because it's so soft. But if you're trying to get a wing that's going to stay on, or, kind of put it on the inside of your, your inner rim, this ran. I mean, and I don't really usually have that issue with liners, and so that was a bummer. I haven't tried the mascara yet because I have a few open right now, and I'm trying to go through them. So I'm not going to test this today, but I did want to show you what came in that trio bundle. The other so that was the first day of the launch. I ordered that. Then she gave the rest of she released the rest of her of the Odyssey launch, and I watched a couple of videos ahead of that, and I want to say it was Morgan Turner that said these were a great value. And so I thought this was a perfect time for me to try one of her trios. So I ordered this one, and I'll look and see what the name of it was. I liked the way it looked on Morgan Turner. We have similar skin tones. I'm a light to medium. I think she says she's a light to medium. And she said these were her favorite. Let's see what this is. So this one is Divine Rose. By the way, these are all made in Italy. This one is anyway. I'll check the other palette. Divine Rose, Desert Orchid, and Golden Nectar. And it is the Divine Blush and Glow Trio Galactic Sun. That's the one that I ordered. And then it came, the box matches the actual component. So really nice. Feels weighty, feels pretty luxe. And these were a great buy considering, you know, I think she sells all three of these individually. So I thought it was a good thing. And I think I got another code on this one too. I ordered it from her website. I definitely got a discount on it. As far as where this one is made, Pat Mcgrath, New York, New York. Made in USA of US and imported ingredients. Maybe that explains why I'm having some issues with that color. I don't know, just saying. Anyway, so I thought maybe what we could do is we can try doing a look with this one. I'm gonna put on these, should I try to do this on camera? No, I don't want to take this, I don't want this to take too long, but I want to put some tape on. And anyway, these are the products that I was able to pick up, and I was fine with that. I didn't feel like I really needed to, you know, pick up more than that. So I'm just putting some Sephora tape here so I don't get this all over the place. I didn't really have too much trouble with fallout, but I will tell you this. I dipped into the green one today, and I noticed that one side of that that shadow is kind of like breaking up a little bit, which I have never seen that happen before. Okay, I got the tape on. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. You see that right there? It's kind of, I don't know what's happening to it, but it just looks like it's crumbling a little bit on one side, and that's actually one of the shades that I really like in this palette. Okay, so I am going to clean off my favorite Rephr eye brush, which is a Rephr 14. This is, like I was telling you before, I have semi-hooded eyes, so this is perfect for semi-hooded eyes. I already put foundation on. I'm using the Dior Air Flash. My shade is 321 Warm Olive. I've really been enjoying this, continuing to enjoy it. And I already have on an eye primer, which is the Urban Decay Eden. This is my favorite one. I really enjoy using this one. So I wanted to do that for the purpose of saving time. So let's see. I think what we'll do is let's do a blue, like maybe a blue kind of color today. I'm gonna dip into, I'll dip into this brown shade right here, this one, and hope that does not bother me. I just don't know what is in this that is affecting my eyes, and I'm really just I'm gonna continue to try and see if I can really handle these shades, because if they're bothering me, then there is no point in me, I'm not going to get any use out of the palette. So I'm hoping that that doesn't that it's just that one shade. I did test out the green one this morning because we got my husband a new truck, and we want to, we're getting one of those, we're getting the front of it clear wrapped, because in Arizona, you are on freeways a lot, and there's always rocks and trucks and everything hitting the front of your vehicle. And so we did it with my SUV. We wrapped the front of it. It really protects it. You replace a lot of windshields in Arizona. It's just the nature of it. And then in my particular area, they're building up a lot. When we first moved out here, it was more farms and dirt and tarp, and they were in the middle of like sort of building, and now there's all this infrastructure going in, and so there's so much construction going on, and so we want to get something on it just to give it some extra protection. But anyway, I just wanted to do like a simple look, and so I went ahead and I just used that green, which was really pretty. It seemed to be okay. It didn't seem to really be bothering me. What I do, because I have semi-hooded eyes, is I like to bring my shadow up a little bit. Otherwise, you don't really see it. So I like to kind of, open my eyes as much as I can with a shadow. So I like to kind of go up as far as I can. And then I'm doing a little bit like in the crease here. And this is a nice shade because it's a brown shade. It's a very warm brown, so it's anybody's guess what the ingredients are. I just don't know if this is one that would be made with any of those kind of pigments that I can't really handle. Okay, so got that matte shade on. Okay, now I'm going to, I like that brush so much, I have more than one of them. So let's see. I have a 13, which is also, Refer 13, which is also really good for hooded eyes. So I think now I'm gonna try going into this shade, this blue one right here. I'll swatch that for you. That's what it looks like. You could see it has sort of a shift to it. It's actually very pretty. I'm gonna go ahead and pick some of that up. There is a little kick up in the pan, if that bothers you. I figured I would just mention it. And I'm just gonna go on the outer part now and start bringing that into my crease and just a little bit above. So you can kind of see what I'm doing here with that shade. And I'm sorry, I have to use one of these because without my glasses, it's really hard for me to see up close. I'm actually getting my eyes checked tomorrow, and I'm hoping that my prescription didn't change that much. Okay, so this is, I gotta say, these shades really have a lot of pigment, and they go on really smoothly. So they're really effortless. It's just, what takes time is just really blending them out, to be honest with you. So, and I have heard people say that they have a little bit of a hard time with her mattes, that they're so pigmented that it's almost like it's almost like a little extra work trying to get them to blend out. I didn't really have a problem with that one shade, that one matte shade. So I've been okay so far. Okay. So here's how we're looking so far. And it's a little tricky for me because I have one eye that is kind of sits right, and then I have this other eye that droops down a little bit. And you know, to be honest with you, it's not the result of age. My eyes were always like that. I always had to kind of, it's a little tricky for me to kind of apply shades and get them to look even. Okay, so that's where we are with that. I think that looks good. I like that gradient effect that we're getting there. Okay, and then I think what we'll do, I really want to try this shade right here, and I'll swatch that for you. These feel so buttery. So there's that shade right there. I think that'll look fine next to that. I mean, it's makeup, we're just playing, so we'll see. I am going to use this one. This is a Refer 21 brush. And that's how that's looking. So this brush, I have to tell you, I haven't really used this brush much. And I'm sure you all know by now about Mel Thompson's passing, and I'm just so sad about that. I have been watching a lot of her videos, and so she used this brush a lot. And then I heard one of the influencers said that she actually asked Refer to make this brush. So I didn't know that, and I said, you know, I have a lot of Refer brushes. Let me see if I have that brush. And I went back and I checked, and I did have it. So it's supposed to be like a good packer brush. So I just packed a bunch of that shade on there, and I'm gonna try to, oh wow. So normally what I would do is I would just use my finger, and because that's usually the best way to get these kind of shades on. And I would use like a NYX glitter glue, right? Because that always like makes it pop more. But I really wanted to show you how these shades are going on, and I wanted to see for myself, what does it look like if you're not using like an actual glitter glue. And I have to say that this is really pretty, and I'm just so surprised at how this is going on. I know this is turning into like a pretty dark look, but I really wanted to play with these shades. So what I did was I pretty much took that shade and I almost went all over my lid with it. And I brought it up like into the crease so I could kind of brighten my crease a little bit. Okay. So that's how we're looking. I think I'm done with the shadow now. I'm gonna try, should I leave that on and try doing a wing? All right, let me show you this pencil that I just don't think is that great, but I want to kind of darken up. I'm just trying to, it's hard to do this on camera, so I'm trying to do my best with this. So I'm just basically darkening the top of my lash line here. And it goes on pretty good. And I have to tell you that it is not, I don't know if this is like a black brown. It's not, it's dark, but it's not like a really like black. So that actually looks really nice. Yeah, that's good. I think this look needs this. Normally I just use a black liquid liner, but I think I need to sharpen this a little bit. Normally I use a black liquid liner on the top. I don't even like mess with it because I don't have a lot of lid space, so it's kind of hard for me to use a pencil. But I really want to show you what this looks like. And so I'm just going to sharpen it and get it a little sharper so I could get that line. Yeah. Let me just bring it up here. Okay. So here's how we're looking. I'm going to go ahead and pull this tape off now. So we get like a sharp, like you get off my finger, we get like a sharp line there. Okay. So I think it helped using the tape so I could get that sharp line, and then I can just go ahead and like fix it with some concealer. So at least I'm able to show you what I mean with the pencil and demonstrate a few of the eyeshadows. So now I'm just going to throw on a little bit of this lash food. It's supposed to have collagen in it. I do like to use some kind of primer on my eyes. One thing I will say that I don't like about this is very rubbery, the tip of this, and I like a really, because it's like tricky trying to get it back into the component. But I just want to get a little bit of that on my lashes. And like I said, normally I put something on my bottom lash. I'm really reluctant to do that, but maybe I'll do the blue one and I'll see how it goes. I'm a little fearful of doing that just because of how sensitive my eyes have been. Now I'm going to go in with the Doll 10 Effort Lash. I really, really like this mascara a lot. It's got like a really good stiff brush. And I really feel like it coats my lashes really well and gives them some volume. If anybody has any tips or tricks about how to really volumize your lashes, you know, what do you do? Do you start at the base and like wiggle it up? Because supposedly that's what a lot of makeup artists do. I've tried different techniques, you know, this one seems to work sort of the best for me. And I always notice that one eye, and it used to be this eye, one eye always looks better than the other eye. I don't know if I have more hair or if I'm more patient with the other eye. But anyway, that's my technique. So here's what's happening with the shadow. I'm thinking what I might do is maybe I'll try putting, I'm going to go back in and I'm going to try using, I have to make sure that I've got all of that other shade off of this brush. Otherwise, I'm just putting it back on my eyes and irritating them. And I think I could probably still use that peach shade. I just can't bring it under my eyes. I think as long as it stays up here, I should be okay. Okay, so now I'm going in with a Rephr 3. This is really good to go under your eyes, and you know, if you want to bring a shade under and do your bottom. So I'm just running it a little bit along the bottom lash, just so I could connect it. You know, you could stop, you could leave off where I was, but you can see here's with it and here's without it. And I think both look fine, but for my eyes, I think I prefer having something underneath because I like that it just kind of gives me that extra, it opens up my eyes more. You know, when you have semi-hooded or hooded eyes or smaller eyes, you have to really find a technique that works for you. Okay, let me go ahead and take a little bit of this Tarte concealer. I use the Ultra Creamy Concealer, which I really like. And I'm just going to go back in, you know, where I had the tape, because it pulled off a little bit of my concealer. And I'm just filling that back in. I don't want to go too crazy because this concealer is kind of light, but I just want to, how did I get makeup up there? I think that's when I was taking my eye makeup off earlier. So there's two things. I use like one of these little sponges, and then I also use a, let's see if I can find it. I love this Rare Beauty brush for concealer too. So sometimes I'll use that, but right now I'm just trying to do this like quickly, and so we can get this look finished. And sometimes I just do what I'm doing right now, but normally that's what I do, is I use like a little brush, or I use a little sponge so I can get in there real good. Okay, so I think we're looking good here. I think this is the eyes done. Now, sometimes what I'll do is I like this brush. This is I'm sorry, I don't know the brand of this, but I like to take this brush, and sometimes I'll just go in and I'll just soften a little bit the lines, you know, like just right above there. So I just kind of soften that. And then I'm not going to use anything from this palette for what I want to do next. So then I usually take my Too Faced Hot Buttered Rum, and there's a shade in there, that light shade right here. I use the shade all the time. I love that shade. And I'll just go in and I'll do just for my inner corner highlight. And then especially for hooded eyes or semi-hooded eyes, another trick that I've learned is that you just go in right under the arch. You know, you can bring it all the way in or all the way out if that's, but the trick to kind of pulling your eyes up this way, as I've learned from watching the experts, I'm not a makeup artist, I'm just a a makeup enthusiast, and I just like to learn the techniques that are really recommended for my type of eyes. But this is another technique if you want to make your eyes look bigger, or, you know, and especially good for people with hooded or semi-hooded eyes, is you just go right under the arch. And this is just the perfect shade from this little palette. And I'll tell you what, this little palette is still performing really well. So that's the eyes. Okay, let's move on, because this video is already so long. Let's move on to this palette. I'm just gonna... Now, since I did a really bold eye, I really want to go, let's start out with this lighter shade in the middle here. Wow, and that still has a lot of pigment, you can see. Nothing on this side, and that's where I placed that one. And I cleaned off the hourglass stuff that was, I didn't like, you know, I just like used one of these. I don't think the hourglass is on it because I cleaned it off pretty good. So this is, yeah, this is her shade, because I can tell what the other one is. And this is, oof, that's really bright. I did not expect that shade to have that much pigment, but boy, does this go on beautifully. Really nice. All right, let's try the highlight. Okay, going in with that highlight. Little bit of powder kick up here. Oh, wow. It's very pretty. So it's definitely got a presence, but it's not over the top. And it has, I don't have a highlight shade like this. I don't even know how to describe it, but it's not bright. It's almost like it's almost got like a pink to it, like a slight pink. Yeah. Really nice. Gonna bring that down the bridge of my nose, a little bit above the Cupid's bow. Okay, so that's this palette. And now I just wipe off what was on my lips. And we're gonna go in with the Charlotte Tilbury. I think this is that shade. What is that shade that's really popular with her? Well, I can't think of the name of it. This came in one of those holiday kits last year. Now I'm using this shade because it's the perfect like pinky brown. Now it's going to drive me crazy because I don't. Pillow Talk. I could not think of the name of that, and meanwhile it's like her most popular shade. So this is the Pillow Talk liner that I'm using, which shows up more pink on me. And then I have one Pat lipstick, and this was, I bought this during her, last year she did like a clearance sale, Lady Stardust. This is Blitz France lipstick, 134. And you can see that it's kind of pink. So next to the Pillow Talk, I think it really matches, which is why I chose to do the Pillow Talk. So let's do the Pillow Talk liner, and then do this. this pat shade. Yeah, I think this goes really well. Really well with this. And then I'm just going to use this collagen lip bath. This came in the Pillow Talk set last year. I really like these collagen lip baths, and I think that she is doing that set again this year. Now, the reason why I did that, put that over it, is because these, while I love the shade of this and you know, this, I love the component and everything, it's a little on the drier side. It's not like a, you could kind of feel a little, you know, it's not dry, but it's just, I like to have a little more glossiness to my lips. So now I'm just going to go ahead and finish off by setting my face with the All-Nighter Ultra Glow. I really don't need any more glow. I'm pretty good, but I've been using this a lot since I got it during the Ulta sale. So that's all the products, and that's me using the palette. So here's my thoughts on this palette. I really like it. I think it's a beautiful palette, either for yourself or if you want to gift this to somebody this holiday season. I mean, it's really pretty. It's a very pretty palette. It feels luxe. It doesn't look like a Morphe palette, like some people said last year's did. It's got all these beautiful wearable shades. You know, it's really just, you know, I mean, they blend out beautifully. They've got really nice pigment. I mean, you saw me swatch a few, and you know, you're able to create an everyday look, but you're also able to create a look like this, you know, like this is more of a holiday look or a deeper, darker look, if you will. This palette is beautiful. I was very surprised at how much pigment I got just off of the, you know, dipping in like once and tapping it off, and it came right onto my skin beautifully. The highlight is very nice. So, and this too would make a great gift either to yourself or to someone else. They're absolutely beautiful. I would love to buy the other one, and maybe I will. I don't know, but right now this is what I have. I already told you how I feel about this liner. I'll see today how it wears. I definitely will not wear this under my eyes because it ran all over the place. It didn't last. So, and I haven't, I will try this one in the future in another video, but I just don't want to open up the mascara right now. Like I said, I have a few open, and then you already know how I feel about the lipstick. So that's my thoughts on this palette. To me, it's a home run as long as I don't have any more issues with the sensitivity. I'll be keeping her, and I would recommend, especially if you don't have eye sensitivities, I think this is a home run, this palette. So I'm sorry this video is so long, but if you're still with me, thanks for hanging in. If you're not subscribed, I'd love to have you as a subscriber. If you would hit the like button and comment, I'd like to hear from you as well. So thanks for watching. Have a great day.